Vegas on the screen, feeling the flow, so pristine. Boom, as the beats align.
Hello and welcome to Star Trekkin in Vegas. Do not adjust your monitors. I am not actually Captain Catherine Janeway of the Starship Voyager. I'm Goldie Vegas.
And I'm Stephen Biggs.
So welcome to our YouTube series, Star Trekkin in Vegas. We have some sponsors. We'd like to thank our sponsors really quick. Go Live Vegas is our producer and our sponsor. You can catch them on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all social media platforms, as well as the Go Live Vegas app, where you can hear rockin' 80s music 24 hours a day. Also, Goldsmith Realty Group, where your dreams are golden. We can assist you with real estate anywhere in the Alpha Quadrant and beyond. Y'all, we had Go Live Vegas make us a really beautiful home tour video of a market that we have, of a property that we have listed right now. This property is located in the heart of fabulous Las Vegas. You are about a mile away from the Las Vegas Strip behind Encore Casino. This is a 2-story townhome. It has a loft primary suite. So upstairs is a loft bedroom with a bathroom and a nice vanity and changing area. And then downstairs is a small bedroom plus a really great kitchen. And it has lots of original features from the 1960s. Let's check it out. Thank you.
Very cool.
So this property has been very well maintained by its owner of 50 years. So it's a really great property. The roof has been recently maintained. So it's actually a really great property. And what a beautiful video. If you are a realtor and you need a video, you can reach out to Go Live Vegas. You could also reach out to me. You could also, if you want to take a tour of that property, you can reach out to me, or you can just let your realtor know that you are interested in that property. So anyway, like I said, it's very centrally located and it's close to me. I would be your neighbor. So anyway, how are you, Stephen?
Well, I am much better than I was back at the end of December. I had some health issues. Basically, I'm doing much better now. What is Barry saying? Oh, my Lord.
Look at big, sexy. Look at the big, sexy man. I don't know. Look at
the big, sexy nerd man on the left.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, Barry. Barry needs to come on our show.
That's right, because he's got one of the best Star Trek stories
Oh.
back from when he was a Ferengi.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would
He
be
and
cool.
Majel Barrett.
Oh, nice, nice. I was going to talk about Majel Barrett a little later in the show.
Yeah, there's some photographic evidence of that.
So, well, yes, thank goodness you're feeling better. I was really worried about you.
Yeah. Much better. Actually, I feel better than I have in probably 2 or 3 years, based on
Oh, good.
when these symptoms first started showing up. So,
Good.
yeah.
Well, we partied, though. We partied in December. I had a few cocktails and sang some karaoke. And we got a caricature, and I forgot to bring it today. I'll have to bring it for the next one.
That's right.
I need to get you a copy of it. It was so cute.
That's right. The famous April, who was she was the first and last off of the Star Trek: The Experience, and
Wow.
we need to get her on the show.
I know.
'Cause,
Maybe
yeah.
next month. I
Yep.
know she wants to do it.
Yeah.
But
So we
she
should-
says she will not be in cosplay, or she won't be Andorian.
no. Uh-oh. What's Kirsten saying?
Oh, hey, Kirsten.
When were polos part of Starfleet uniform?
Oh, well.
When I became in charge of the uniforms, that's it.
we don't always wear uniforms. I'm wearing a uniform today for a specific reason that we'll get to.
Having a watch party.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Oh, it's
Excellent.
nice to see y'all.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, we had stuff happen behind the scenes that kind of prevented us from doing the show for a while, but we are back.
Yay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've actually been pretty busy with my band.
Mm-hmm.
We have a show called Rock-Lesque coming up on March 22nd. It is a show at the Composer's Room, and my band plays rock and roll songs while girls do burlesque.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that is at the Composer's Room, which is in the historic commercial center on Sahara near Maryland Parkway. So, back in the golden age of Las Vegas, this was a major shopping center. What's Kirsten saying now? Hey,
I know.
I didn't wear my contacts today. That was probably a mistake.
Say, hey, go first on the experience.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Kirsten was an Andorian alongside April.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. Oh, they're on YouTube. That's so cool. Thanks, guys, for the
Yeah.
comments.
The only thing that keeps Kirsten from sharing that first on, last off with April is he did take a couple months off in the middle of his run at the experience. But otherwise, yeah,
a
they were
couple
both
months
hired the
off.
same day. So.
Since I've become a teacher, I get a couple months off every year, so
Yeah.
it's really nice.
You look great, Goldie. Love the DS9 original uniform.
Oh, thank you. I'm supposed to be Voyager. I'm supposed to be Captain Janeway.
Yeah.
It's like so I also have a show. My birthday show is on March 29th. It is Las Vegas Punk and Rockabilly at the Double Down Saloon. This will be our first all rockabilly show. We've had
Nice.
an all punk rock show and usually a little bit of both, but this month it is all rockabilly, and so we are celebrating me turning 49.
Oh, no.
This feels weird to say. I don't know. But anyway, so a couple years ago, I decided to get my marriage officiant license. And so I hadn't really done anything with it because I'm a little busy all the time. In fact, yesterday, I worked out really hard at this gym called Fit Club that a lot of bodybuilders train in. And then I sewed for an hour on a dress, and then I'm learning Pink Pony Club on the piano, and then I started working on my bodybuilding coach's competition bikini, and then I went to a birthday party. I went to a party. It wasn't a birthday party. But I'm so busy all the time, and I was telling him, I was like, okay, I'm finally going to do something with my marriage officiant license, and what I would like to do is hopefully do some Star Trek weddings during the Star Trek convention.
Oh, yeah.
So in Star Trek, the captain of the ship does the wedding ceremonies.
Yes.
And so we watched episodes this week that had wedding ceremonies. And so that's why I'm dressed like Captain Janeway. I thought that would be the best costume for the wedding ceremonies.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Okay. I could do Klingon, but then I'd have to make some costumes pieces, and But like, this is what I have. I can be Janeway immediately right now and
do it.
wed someone.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the wedding episodes that we're going to talk about today. Let's see. I wrote them down. Oh, Deep Space Nine, you're cordially invited. This is Dax and Worf.
Yeah.
This is a great episode. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's a classic from that time, and really great wedding dress for Dax. That thing, we had that at the Experience forever, and
nice.
It's a really nicely detailed thing, and of course, it fit
Terry Farrell.
Oh my God!
I
Don't get old,
remembered
kids.
something you didn't. That's that's new.
Doomsday Machine TOS first wedding episode.
Doomsday Machine. Oh, I didn't watch that one.
Doomsday Machine, or are you talking about? I don't think Doomsday Machine. I think the first Romulan episode was the first wedding thing, because there's sadness involved in that.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. But right now we're talking about Dax and Worf.
Yeah.
So Dax is she just finally gets sick of the mother-in-law and has a wild party in her suite.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yes.
And then Worf is in the holodeck, whatever, with Julian and Cisco and O'Brien, and they're like hanging with shackles over a fire and like.
Yeah.
Jane wore the dress during closing.
Oh really? Oh, that's so interesting. Wow, lucky
Balance of
her.
Terror, my bad.
Yep.
Oh, Balance of Terror. We're definitely going to talk about that. So Kirsten is referencing an actor from Star Trek: The Experience named Lynn, who was a Klingon at The Experience, and he said she wore the Dax dress.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, was she Klingon or was she Dax?
Oh, I don't know. I did not see that. We've been watching a lot of Johnny
I do
Carson.
not recall. Okay.
Johnny Carson. So
I
I do
did
not
not
remember this. But yeah, which tells you how tall Lynn is, and because Terry Farrell is actually pretty tall, and wow, I wish I could have seen that.
I know,
wonder if
it
there's
sounds
pictures.
cool. That's a pretty outstanding dress.
Yeah.
So then Worf calls off the wedding because Dax isn't taking it seriously. And then they make up, and then they have the wedding.
We have the wedding.
And at the end of the wedding...
And it's Martok that does the ceremony, right? Do you know Martok?
Is it Martok? No, because Martok is... Dax is marrying into the house of Martok.
Oh, right.
Who's the other Klingon with the wild eyes? Gowron.
Oh, Gowron.
Was Gowron the one who officiated
Well, no,
the wedding?
because he'd be dead by then.
Oh, she was a Klingon in Dax's wedding dress. Oh, see, Kirsten, you need to come on here. That's so interesting. Okay, so because the guys have been in the holodeck sweating over fires and beating each other up.
Right.
They're at the end of the wedding is tradition. It's a Klingon wedding. At the end of the wedding, they've got clubs, and like at the end of the wedding, they get to beat the crap out of Worf.
What a Worf, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so the next episode on my list is from TNG, and it's called Data's Day, and it features the wedding of Miles and Keiko.
Yeah. That one I hadn't refreshed my...
It's a pretty good episode. So they're, preparing for the wedding, and the reason why it's called Data's Day is because he's basically like writing a letter to someone, a doctor, somebody who knows about him. I forget what institute or whatever. Sorry, I suck at this. I mean, okay, so he's basically documenting his day, talking about human emotions, and it's like Keiko and O'Brien are both very close with Data, and Keiko tells Data that she has decided not to get married to O'Brien, and she feels like that is what will make her happy. And then Data walks up, and she's like, "Oh, Data, could you tell Miles?" So Data walks up to Miles. He's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to let you know that Keiko has made a decision that will increase her happiness. She has decided not to marry you." And so Data's, of course, like, I do not understand human emotions and all of this stuff. But, at the end of the episode, of course, they decide to get married. But they never say why she changed her mind, or like why she didn't want to get married to Miles and why she changed her mind. It was like the beginning of the episode, the wedding was off, and at the end of the wedding episode, the wedding was on.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, don't worry about it, Data is back on. Because, like, Miles is like, you've got to get Keiko to change her mind. And so he's trying to figure out how to do that. And then all of a sudden she's like, don't worry about it, Data. The wedding's still on. And then they get married. It's like so many unanswered questions.
Yeah. Which, of course, I think is kind of the point. Data's just like, well, all right.
Okay, so the next one on our list is a mock time. Also an iconic original series episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where Spock is going to marry to Prill.
Mm-hmm. No, to Pring.
To Pring.
Yep.
Excuse my language, this bitch. To Pring.
Yeah. Yeah. What was cool at the time was that was really kind of the first episode of the original series that we got to see Vulcan, or at least a chunk of it.
The planets.
And got to see more of, Vulcan culture and all that, which, of course, again, they were just kind of making up as they went along. And, yeah, it was, I remember being a kid watching that for the first time and just being kind of enthralled by everything. Of course, it was me and my brother, so, we did make fun of the jiggle, jiggle, jiggle things and
yeah,
all
it was
that.
very the ceremonies. So what happens if you're not familiar with that episode is that Vulcans have arranged marriages from childhood. And so Spock needs to go back to Vulcan so that he can marry to Pring. But to Pring, she wants Kirk to fight Spock. What's it called?
Well, oh boy, it's been a while since I've.
Yeah, I didn't rewatch this one recently.
Yeah. But basically, it's a challenge. She wants someone else to fight Spock for her hand in marriage, and she picks Kirk.
Yes.
Because the guy that really wants her hand is this guy Stonn. Sitting, standing beside her. So Vulcans are historically stronger than Kirk. Vulcan has a thinner atmosphere, and it's much hotter. So there's, of course, no chance that Kirk's going to come through, because it's a fight to the death, too. So there's no chance Kirk is coming out of this alive. So therefore, Spock will be disgraced. He'll have killed his captain. This is T'Pring's plot. Spock will have killed his captain. He'll face a court-martial, and she will have Stonn just still sitting there. So,
that's why I said this bitch.
Her arrangement will be annulled, but
she gets what she wants.
Yeah, and Spock has a great line. You may find that that having is not so pleasurable as wanting. It is not logical, but it is often true.
Huh. Yeah, that's something to think about for sure.
So that's a sequel I want to see. T'Pring and Stonn.
Right? Oh my God, spinoff.
Happy couple.
Kirk dies, but Bones gave him something to make him seem dead, but he wasn't really dead.
Yeah.
So then they transported him and then revived him, and that's the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, our next wedding episode. What's he say?
Montaigne.
As Stone, frequent friend of the experience.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. He would often come in, especially like he'd bring friends in when the convention was in town.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, our next episode is Till Death Do Us Part on DS9, Cisco and Cassidy. I don't remember this episode at all.
I don't either.
Okay, I like Cassidy a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like but I might be getting her confused with the doctor in the Orville.
Well, it's the same person.
Is it? Oh my God. Okay.
Penny Johnson Gerald. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why. Okay, and then I do like that
There's
actress
a reason you're
lot.
getting them confused.
Yeah, I do like her a lot. Okay, so moving on, since we don't remember that episode, Balance of Terror. Kirsten brought that up in the chat. Balance of Terror. I actually took some notes on this, I think. You know, sometimes I take
it's
notes.
a-
But then I spilled water on it, so it's a little crinkly. Balance of Terror. Season 1, episode 15. Oh, so the episode opens with Captain Kirk doing a wedding ceremony.
Yep.
But before he can pronounce them married, before he can finish the ceremony, there's a red alert.
Yep.
And so then the episode
And we
proceeds.
see the first encounter with Romulans. Historically, in the Trek timeline, it's the first time the Federation has actually ever seen what Romulans look like, and lo and behold, they look like Vulcans. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which brings out some hidden bigotry on the bridge there too, which we don't have time for that, sir. You know.
But okay, so yeah, there's there's a space station that's been destroyed, and so that the Romulans did all this. And so then there was like some fight scenes, and there was some damage to the ship, and oh no, the groom dies.
Yep.
It was like they just threw in this tragic subplot. I just thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah.
But there is something that the captains say when they start to marry, and I saw Captain Picard do this and Captain Janeway do this. They say, since the days of the first wooden vessels, all shipmasters have had one happy privilege, that of
uniting
the bonds. And then I didn't finish because they were interrupted by a red alert. But I got to go back. So I've got to build my my marriage efficient script based on that. So that's going to be how it's going to be begin.
Yeah. Now, did you watch the season 1 ender of Strange New Worlds?
Yes, and they were like, oh, it's the first time we've seen Romulans, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, it's the alternate timeline in which Pike survives. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Incoming news.
End of episode 1 of Shatner's best acting without talking face.
Yep.
I have my glasses. I just don't have them on.
But the season 1 ender of Strange New Worlds, Pike from the future comes back and tells current Pike, don't try to save your life, because every time you do, Spock dies. And he basically pulls an It's a Wonderful Life deal on Pike and basically lets him see what his life would be like if he actually saves his own life. Because in Strange New Worlds, he's aware that he's going to be dying in the thing. So we see Balance of Terror with Pike as the captain of the Enterprise.
I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah. And so he's doing the wedding ceremony at the beginning.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I definitely need to go. Is it charades? No, that's when Spock and T'Pring end their relationship.
Yeah, no, it's the end of season 1 of, I don't know what the episode's called, but end of season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, so Strange New Worlds had an episode called Charades where Spock and T'Pring end their relationship. So that's a totally different timeline?
No, it is, because if you remember at the beginning of Amok Time, he hasn't seen T'Pring in like 7 years because they ended it.
Oh, okay. Oh, my gosh.
So in Strange New Worlds, we actually see where the schism starts.
Nice.
And yeah, it's real.
Okay, so I want to talk about Star Trek Voyager episode Course Oblivion. This is the pictures. Don't put them up yet, but if you want to put them in the queue. So, the episode is season 5, episode 8. It's called Course Oblivion. Okay, and so I made a note that Ensign Kim plays Here Comes the Bride on the clarinet. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get a clarinet. But the last thing I need to do is buy an instrument.
Oh, what do we got incoming?
In the deleted scene, Pike informs his past self that polos are banned from Star Wars.
You know what?
But I'm bummed.
You know what, Barry Robb? I look good in polos.
You do look good.
So
I usually just wear a T-shirt. Like, I don't know. I just wanted to test out my Captain Janeway uniform because this is what I'll wear for the weddings. And I wanted to get your opinion on it. You said it looks good, right?
It does.
It looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you want first? The girl or the boy?
We'll do the guy, but don't put it up yet.
Yeah, you tell me
Okay, so Ensign Kim plays Here Comes the Bride on the clarinet, and it's Tom and B'Elanna's wedding. And I made a note that at the end of the ceremony, Janeway says, with the power vested in me by Starfleet Command and the United Federation of Planets. But I have to say, by the laws of the state of Nevada. So I could say by the laws of the state of Nevada, Starfleet Command and the United Federations of Planets, I now pronounce you married.
Yep.
Okay, so that's in the plans.
I think
for
that's
my
what they
script.
did on the our bridge weddings at the Experience.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, so Tom has planned a very romantic honeymoon on the holodeck, and he's got very, very detailed description of 1928 Chicago. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny, like how detailed he was describing. It's like, but then there's like some molecular cohesion, and B'Elanna's the first one to experience it, and she dies first. But then there's something wrong with the ship and wrong with the people. And so, okay, you put the picture up there, and they all start melting,
Yeah.
basically. I took a lot of notes on this. We don't have to go through all the notes. But basically, they all start melting. The ship starts to melt. Harry Kim, who apparently never gets a promotion on this show, ends up being the captain by the end of this episode because everybody melts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can put up Captain Janeway. So basically, Voyager had landed on a Demon-class planet that could replicate the Voyager, okay? So there was a replicated Voyager with a replicated crew and a replicated mission. And so they're trying to get back to Earth, and they all start melting. And somebody, Tuvok or somebody's like, Captain Janeway, I believe that we are a copy of the Voyager, not the actual Voyager. And then Captain Janeway is so well duplicated. She's like, I'm not giving up until we get to Earth. And then she melts and dies. And I just thought the makeup was so funny. Like, I wonder what the outtakes are like within this stuff on their face. I feel like if I was in that situation, I would laugh until I cry.
Yeah.
But
which they probably did. And then,
yeah.
Okay, take.
Yeah, they had to do it. But then finally, by the time the duplicate Voyager catches up with the real Voyager, and the real Voyager scans, it's just like particles.
Random molecules and
That's the whole
stuff.
episode.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
sad.
All they had to do was go back to the planet, but stubborn Janeway.
Yeah.
Okay, then I also have Deep Space Nine, The House of Quark. This is when Quark marries Grilka.
Yeah.
And he's pretty brave in this episode. Doesn't somebody challenges him or something?
Yeah. Because something. Oh, it's been a while since I've watched this, but something where if she doesn't get married by X time, then some other house will take her house because she's the last. Because her father dies or something, and so they'll take it over. So she marries Quark, who Quark gets a hold of the books and figures out your house is actually very wealthy and blah blah blah. And so Quark is having to defend himself in front of Gowron and the rest of the Klingon Council, and this guy that wanted to take the house goes to try to kill him, and Gowron stops him and he says, we are turning our backs on you because he's annoying, but he's not worth killing annoying. And you would kill this little man, this little unarmed man. You have no honor. And so they basically do the Klingon ceremony where they basically turn their backs on you and you are no longer have a house or anything.
Grilka was a very beautiful Klingon as well. She's rich and beautiful.
Yeah, she's also, that actress was also on Babylon 5 for a while.
Oh.
Yeah. With much less prosthetic makeup on. So, yeah.
Okay, and then Enterprise, there is an episode called Home, and T'Pol goes back to Vulcan because she has to marry whoever she was arranged with. Yeah. But she and Trip are in love, and Trip, for T'Pol's best interest, he steps back and doesn't make a fuss. And T'Pol's mother it makes her realize that he really truly loves T'Pol, and so then the wedding is called off.
That's right.
I didn't watch that episode. I just read like
the summary.
I have seen every episode of Star Trek, but I don't. I feel like I don't watch them constantly. I forget. Like it's been years since I've seen a lot of these.
Yeah, the famous Barry that's been chiming in. He just recently did an entire watch of Enterprise because it was his first time ever watching Enterprise.
What? Oh, it's such a good show.
Yeah, I because we were going to talk about doing a rewatch in Trek timeline chronological order. So,
yes.
So we
We've
started
kind
rewatching.
of veered off of that, but
yeah, I did make it through about half the first season, and I gotta say, it was better than I remembered it being.
oh yeah, it's such a good series.
Yeah,
And when it was on TV, it was like it wasn't on a channel that I could pick up, so I would have to like turn the cable off and put an antenna on my TV.
Yeah.
Like they made it so hard. Like RuPaul's Drag Race is on an MTV now instead of Paramount Plus, so I'm just not watching it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Voyager and then Enterprise were the flagship shows for the United Paramount Network, which was supposed to be in like the fifth network after ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. And then, of course, the WB came in as the sixth network. Well, both the WB and Paramount eventually merged into the CW because neither one of them could handle it financially alone.
Interesting.
Which is why you had a lot of Warner Brothers shows on the CW.
Interesting.
But yeah, and it was that network, UPN, had all kinds of money issues. So it started to show a little bit on Voyager, but it really started to show, like they had a lot more of what they call bottle episodes on Enterprise, where everything just took place on the Enterprise. So
yeah, so then they didn't have to build another set.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Enterprise is a great show. I liked everything about it. You know, I even liked the song. And I regret it. Well, you hate everything, so your opinion no longer matters. Yeah, I thought about basing the vows because you know sometimes people just want you to say, you say it and they say I do. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about basing the vows on that song from Enterprise.
Oh, It's Been a Long Road?
Yeah, so I say something like, it's been a long road, getting from there to here.
And now every one of my friends is like, oh, stop him.
And my time is finally near. I've got to figure out how to work that song into my ceremony. And, one of the vows could be like,
do you vow to have...
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Do you vow to have faith of the heart, that kind of stuff. Okay, and then the last episode I have written down is The Muse from DS9. It's when Lwaxana Troy is pregnant, but she's with a man who, once you have the baby, the men raise the children, and the women don't have any kind of hands-on contact. And so she is marrying Odo to get away from the man so that she can raise her own baby. Do you remember that episode?
I vaguely remember it, but I think that was in a later season. Must have been a later season.
I didn't write the episode.
Over COVID, I almost completed a rewatch of Deep Space Nine, but I think I stopped in the middle of the fifth season, something like that.
I very much enjoy the relationship that Lwaxana and Odo have. Oh, yeah. I love the episode where they're stuck in the turbo lift.
Yeah, and he can't get back to his bucket.
And so he melts into her dress.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
Yeah,
I
really
love
good.
Odo in general. Like the series finale of DS9 is actually one of my favorites because I love it when he goes back to the Link. Mm-hmm. That's his home planet. And the Link, they're all melted in with each other. And so he says goodbye to Kira and he turns into a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And then he backs into the Great Link or whatever and melts away. And so it makes me cry every time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
good.
so good. And Lwaxana is, oh my gosh, she's such a great character in general. She's the comic relief. She's the mother.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I got to say, and boy, oh boy, was that written specifically for Majel Barrett. Majel Barrett is kind of Loxana in real life.
Yeah?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know much about her personally.
Yeah, anytime she'd come by the experience, she just kind of held court in Quark's bar.
Oh,
and
that's
she
so
was
cool.
always the hostess. You know, she really, wanted to carry on her husband's legacy and everything. And she was just, she was just a lot of fun. And she
Yeah.
really knew how to put away whiskey and soda or
Oh,
whatever her drink of choice
okay.
was.
Well, she was in Star Trek from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first officer and got rejected because people weren't ready for a woman in a leadership role.
Well, NBC wasn't ready for a woman in charge.
Yeah. Those people.
It kind of amounts to the same thing, but I think if they'd let it go, then it would have been fine.
Yeah. And then they rebranded her as Nurse
Wait.
Chapel. Major was a gem as Loxana.
Yeah.
I was Loxana Troy as a cosplay one time, and I just got a dress. I didn't get any specific dress. I just got a dress and put in black contacts.
Hey, what?
Majel gave Vlarg Umox.
Oh yeah, that's the picture. That's why we gotta have Barry on. Barry, you're on notice. First week of April.
But anyway, yeah, I just kind of like tried to personify her. It wasn't like I didn't make a dress. Yeah, so I'm excited about doing the Star Trek weddings. So by the time we do our next episode, I will have my wedding ceremony, and I can do it for y'all, and maybe somebody will be inspired to have a Star Trek wedding with me.
Yeah.
And you have somebody that can record that for you.
And Go Live Vegas can record the ceremony. We can do a ceremony anywhere in the Las Vegas Valley as long as there is an address. We have to have a physical address. I am planning on talking to the chapel at the Rio about possibly just working through them, because the convention is at the Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I thought I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. That's probably the school district they call me. Yeah, so I was hoping to get in at the Rio for convenience sake. But I can do it anywhere. I can do a wedding ceremony anywhere. And for an extra fee, maybe the Andorian ambassador will show up and drink at your wedding.
Or I might find all my Klingon stuff by then.
Oh, yeah. We could do a Klingon ceremony. I have my Klingon costume. I just need to make some stuff because it's not appropriate for a wedding. It needs to be a little more conservative, I guess. A little more conservative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something more like what Grilka might wear, or Mrs. Galron, whoever, Mrs. Martok.
Yeah.
What's Martok's
Cirilla?
wife? Cirilla.
I have a funny story about that. So, it was back in 20 and 02. It was the first ever Star Trek convention at the back at the Hilton. Back then it was the Hilton. Now it's the Westgate. And Lynn and I, Colin and Kralk were walking the floor, and we ran into J.G. Hertzler, who played Martok.
Oh, nice.
And as we go by, Lynn, for the everyone fell in love with her, and anyone who came to the experience, especially if you're a male, all the guys fell in love with Colin.
Yeah, I was about to say, Trekkies have a thing for Klingons, I think.
Yeah. So we're walking by, and Mr. Hertzler goes something like stunning or magnificent.
Nice.
Magnificent. And she, boom, because Lynn was really, really good about turning on people, and she'd go, shouldn't you be, or I'm doing Kralk voice for Lynn. Anyway, she's like, shouldn't you be saying that to Cirilla? And he's like, Cirilla isn't here. And Lynn just gave him and turned to walk. And I kind of looked at him. I was like, I walked after. We didn't get far. And then there was a fan, and the fan was saying, why aren't you dressed like Martok? And he was like, because I'm just an actor. They're the real thing.
Aw,
And we were like, woo.
that's so cool. That was such a wonderful place.
Yeah. And so we got our little endorsement from the general.
Yeah.
Chancellor Martok by that point.
Oh, geez, Chancellor. Do you have any trivia today? Did you do trivia?
I did not. I totally spaced the trivia. I was actually going to do it today, and then we ended up doing something else this morning, so I didn't really have time. I was trying to think. Nope, I don't have anything off the top of my head. Shoot. Not that I was going to try to come up with something that was Trek wedding related, but
I started to write some trivia questions down. I only wrote down one, and it was, in what episode does Ensign Kim become captain?
Oh, is it Oblivion?
Of course, Oblivion. Okay, well, next month we are going to, we were doing the last Sunday of the month, but since today is the first Sunday of the month, we are going to start a new tradition and be the first Sunday of the month. So our next episode will be the first Sunday of April. And I think that we're going to have the Sci-Fi Savage on. She was on one of our episodes not too long ago. And she loves TNG, so we'll probably talk about TNG.
Perfect.
And she's just a lot of fun to talk to. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, April 6th.
April 6th?
Our next.
Maybe we can get our friend April to come.
Oh, yeah, that would be appropriate. April and April.
April and April. That would be really cool. All right. So that's all we have for today. Live long and prosper, y'all.
Yeah. Where am I? There we are.
Star
Peace and long life.
Peace and long life. Spock bomb. Look, Spock bomb. Look, don't let me hang
Oh,
out. High five.
hang on.
High five. Is that a Klingon?
Starfleet.